Okay, now in this screencast, I'm going to have you practice on your own. So you should be doing some of these in your notes. And as soon as I tell you to go ahead and pause, I'm going to have you pause the video, the screencast, and then you're going to do these conjugations. So we have three verbs, all ER verbs. Romper, which means to break. Vender, remember, think of vending or vendor, they sell things, to sell. And conocer, to know or meet. All right? You just saw conocer a minute ago. Try not to look back at your notes. I want you to pause the screencast at this point and conjugate all three of these. Okay? Go ahead and hit pause. When you come back, you'll see the conjugations. You can check them against yours. Hit pause now. Okay, so now that you're back, I'm going to have you go ahead and we're going to look at all three of these and see if you conjugated them correctly. So take a look at the answers here. Rompí, I broke. Tu rompiste, you broke. Rompió, he, she, or you formal broke. Rompimos, we broke. Again, this is the vosotros form. I just want you to see it. You don't have to ever produce it, okay? And then ellos, ellas, and ustedes rompieron, for they broke. All right, now let's take a look at vender. Vendí, vendiste, vendió, vendimos, and vendieron. Check your spelling against these. Make sure you did it right. And the last one, conocer, this should be a no-brainer because you guys already have it in your notes, so we're not even going to deal with it. Okay? Last part of this screencast I'm going to have you do is translate these sentences. And I'm going to have you do the same thing. Copy the English down first, okay? And then I'm going to have you translate them to Spanish, then pause, and then when you come back, I'll show you what you should have. All right, couple of hints I'm going to give you. To meet, we saw was conocer, so that's the verb you're going to use. I met who? Your father. Your father is a direct object, and it's a person. So what do we need before him? We need the personal a. Okay, so don't forget about, you need that personal a in there before your father when you're writing the sentence. Okay, all right, also, and then don't forget, there's a key word in there. Okay, last night is that key word that we saw lots of those in that list that I had given you. Okay, so this is going to go in here when you translate. Look for the keyword last night on keywords. Okay, no keywords in this one, but we do know it's past tense because we see the ed. All right, he learned. The verb for to learn is aprender. So when you conjugate that, you're going to conjugate this verb aprender in the he form. Okay, and also because Spanish is a proper name of something, it should have the L in front of it when you translate it. All right, no keywords in número tres. We didn't understand math, but it is negative. Okay, and it is past tense because we see did not. That tells us past tense in English, so we know it should be in the preterite. You're not going to translate did. It's part of the verb. Okay, so I don't want to see hacer in any of these translations that have the word did in them. It's part of the verb. However, it is negative, okay? So we did not. Where does the no go in relationship to a verb? Always in front of it, just like we see it in English, okay? To understand, you can use entender, which is usually the verb that goes along with understanding some kind of a school topic or something, okay? So you're going to use entender here. His brothers, possession, sus, and the word for brothers, did not, again, so same thing, break, that's romper. You might not remember the word for chairs, it's las sillas. Okay, so when you go to translate that, there's that. Okay, and then did you learn how to cook? Again, to learn, aprender, but the word how. Think of how you've used how in the past, like with como estás. That's exactly how you're going to write it here. How do you say to cook? Well, think of what room you cook in, la cocina. So, cocinar. All right, so there's similarities between words that you can use to help you remember. And then if you remember back to when we were looking at reflexive verbs, desayunarse was to eat breakfast. So breakfast itself, the noun, el desayuno. Okay, so you're going to work on these and look at these sentences, and you're going to hit pause now. Okay, now that you've come back, check your answers. See how you did. And that's the end of this screencast.